Greetings and welcome to Road to Guitar Mastery, the ongoing show where I attempt to master the guitar by breaking it down into its most fundamental pieces. In today's episode, we will be continuing our discussion on mode visualization as we ponder the harmonic minor scale. I'm going to present a brief overview of how we got to this point, but I'd still recommend starting from the major modes visualized if you haven't seen it already. Anyways, we first learned how each note of the major scale corresponds to a mode which contains all the note information that fits into that mode. We then looked at how the major modes are the exact same as the natural minor modes, starting from the sixth mode, Aeolian. This chart shows the qualities or how to spell each mode. From here, we split up the 3-note per string patterns into 2 string groupings and built our first modal shapes on the B and high E strings. To do this, we learned these intervals and how they relate to our reference or root notes depicted by the R on the low E, B, and high E strings. Here were the resulting patterns for each mode. Eventually, we will want to glue these patterns to the next 2 strings, so today we'll be adding this 5th interval, which can be diminished perfect or augmented. You can base this 5th position off the B string root. Now, when we go from the natural minor scale to the harmonic minor scale, all we are doing is raising that flat 7 up 1 fret. The result is a slight change to each natural minor mode, so let's take a closer look. The gray note represents the 7th from the natural minor scale, and as I mentioned before, we just need to raise this 1 fret for the harmonic minor scale. Notice that the blue note in the 2-string pattern is the root, and it exists on the bottom right. The yellow notes are the chord tones or the specific notes of the arpeggio that will create the mode's unique sound. The red flat 6, 2, and 4 are passing tones, and the red third is for reference. The second mode of the natural minor scale is the Locrian mode, but when we raise the 7th to the harmonic minor, we create Locrian natural 6. This means we simply need to raise the 6th from the original Locrian mode spelling. Notice how the chord tones are in the same relative positions for each mode. The third mode is Ionian Augmented, which means we raise the 5th from the original Ionian mode. We can start to see the pattern emerge from raising the 7th scale degree from the beginning. The first mode raises the 7th, the second mode raises the 6th, the third raises the 5th, the fourth raises the 4th, and so on. Ionian Augmented is also the only mode in the harmonic minor scale that utilizes the augmented 5th. Now we have Dorian sharp 4, which raises the 4th from the Dorian mode. Next, we have the Phrygian dominant mode that raises the 3rd from the Phrygian mode. The 6th mode is Lydian sharp 9, which means we raise the 2nd scale degree from the Lydian mode. And our final mode is the altered dominant double flat 7, which means we are raising the root note up 1 fret from the Mixolydian mode. Another way to look at it is to lower the 7th 1 fret from the altered dominant mode from our melodic minor scale. This will be a topic of the next video, but just so you know, the altered dominant mode means you lower every scale degree. So here are all of our B and high E string harmonic modal patterns. In previous videos, I recommended practicing these patterns by playing the root, then the 3rd for reference, then the 6-note pattern going up and down. To add on to this, here are a couple variations that will make these runs sound more like their respective modes. Basically, we just need to end the exercise on the blue root note or any of the 3 remaining yellow chord tones in the pattern. I've constructed this backing track that cycles through all the diatonic chords of G harmonic minor for your practicing pleasure. The video is available on this channel, or you can download the audio at my Patreon page linked down below. I also have the worksheet that tabs out the various shapes in the key of G, also available at my Patreon or MeWe pages. I've now played through this backing track 50 times, and I can confidently say that it does become very relaxing and automatic to play these shapes after a bit of time. As you do this, try to think about the locations of these intervals and how they relate to their bigger shapes. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me hear it down below and I will do my best to get back to you. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all on the next episode. Take care, everybody.